Four-time Formula One World Champion Max Verstappen finished 8th at the 2026 Japanese Grand Prix and immediately told the media he is considering walking away from the sport before the year is out. That is not a rumor. That is a statement made by the most dominant driver of the modern era, standing in Suzuka with only 12 points to his name after 3 races. And the response from Formula One's most respected voices? Swift, blunt, and delivered without apology. After Australia, China, and Japan, Verstappen sits 9th in the Drivers' Championship with 12 points. Championship leader Kimi Antonelli of Mercedes already holds 62 points, a gap of 50 inches, just 3 rounds. His best result remains a P6 in Melbourne, followed by a retirement in Shanghai due to an ERS coolant failure, and P8 in Suzuka. Red Bull team principal Laurent Mekies did not sugarcoat it after China, stating via Sky Sports F1, "This was not our only issue. Performance-wise, our package showed some significant shortcomings. The RB22 is reported to be running approximately 20 kilograms over the weight limit, and Red Bull's first in-house power unit, developed in partnership with Ford, has struggled badly under the new 50/50 battery-to-combustion split mandated for 2026. Verstappen told the BBC after Suzuka, "When you are in P7 or P8 and you are not enjoying the whole formula behind it, it doesn't feel natural to a racing driver." He insisted his objection is not about results alone, it is about the fundamental nature of the sport he signed up for. Verstappen's public criticism drew responses from 2 of the most credible voices in the paddock. The loudest came from Juan Pablo Montoya, 7-time Grand Prix winner with Williams and McLaren. Speaking after the Japanese Grand Prix, Montoya was unambiguous. "If you're unhappy with being in F1, you should leave. Have the courage of your convictions. If you're unhappy with the rules, then talk to people instead of threatening that you're going to leave. That's not going to help that much." He went further. "If I were him, I'd shut up, deal with it, and admit that he's frustrated because his car is 20 kilos over and it's going to be uncompetitive all year. At the end of the day, nobody's bigger than the sport." Montoya then drew a parallel that landed hard. "Look at Tiger Woods, one of the biggest athletes in the world. When he left, somebody else took over. The sport did not end. There is always someone to replace you. Nobody is irreplaceable, not even Max." Martin Brundle, former F1 driver and Sky Sports lead analyst, echoed that view on the F1 show. "I think it's getting a bit boring now, what he's saying. Either go or stop talking about it," he added. "There are any number of Antonellis, Behrmans, Lindblads out there who would do the job incredibly well for 1% of the money. The sport will just move on if Max decides to go." This story has a contractual dimension that makes the situation uniquely powerful and uniquely urgent. As confirmed by ESPN's F1 reporting and corroborated by the race, Verstappen's Red Bull contract, which runs on paper until 2028, contains a specific exit clause tied to the 2026 season. It was built into the agreement with F1's new regulations in mind, reflecting Verstappen's long-standing concern about where the sport was heading. The clause is straightforward. If Verstappen is not within the top 2 of the Drivers' Championship by the summer break, he can activate a formal release from his contract. Per the race, the activation window runs from August to October 2026. Given he currently sits 9th, with Mercedes dominating the front of the grid, the mathematical reality of reaching 2nd by the Hungarian Grand Prix on July 26th is, to put it plainly, extremely remote. Mekies responded directly at Suzuka, "We are having zero discussions about those aspects. We have a lot of work to do, but I'm sure by the time we give him a fast car, he will be a much happier Max." Meanwhile, Toto Wolff closed the Mercedes door publicly, telling Austrian outlet OE24, "We have 2 drivers with long-term, multi-year contracts. I could not be happier with either of them. There is absolutely no reason to even consider a lineup change." It would be easy to frame this as one frustrated driver fighting against the tide. The documented record says otherwise. As verified by ESPN's technical reporting, the 2026 regulations 50/50 power split creates a phenomenon engineers call super clipping. sudden power loss when the battery depletes, making the car unpredictable and turning overtaking into a lottery. Verstappen described it directly. You are boosting past, then you run out of battery the next straight. They boost past you again. He is not the only one saying it. Reigning champion Lando Norris stated that F1 has gone from its best cars in 2025 to its worst in 2026. Fernando Alonso labeled the series the Battery World Championship, and at Suzuka, qualifying, Charles Leclerc, who had previously defended the new cars, said plainly, "It's a fucking joke that the cars no longer reward risk." The FIA has acknowledged driver concerns, and crisis meetings are reported ahead of the Miami Grand Prix on May 3rd. Verstappen himself said at Suzuka, "They know what to do." A pointed message to both the FIA and Liberty Media about the changes he wants to see. ESPN's paddock sources indicate Verstappen is leaning toward a sabbatical rather than permanent retirement, though, as they noted, no departure from Formula One comes with a guaranteed return. 3 scenarios are in play, grounded entirely in documented facts. Scenario 1. Red Bull closes the performance gap through updates in Miami, Imola, and Monaco. Verstappen starts fighting for podiums. The exit clause becomes irrelevant in competitive terms. Scenario 2. Performance remains poor by the summer break. Verstappen activates the clause and explores his options. With Mercedes locked up through 2029 and Ferrari and McLaren committed to their lineups, a mid-season move to a top team is structurally nearly impossible. Scenario 3. A sabbatical. Step away from F1, remain within the Red Bull brand structure in an ambassador capacity, and pursue passion projects, including his personal GT3 racing program. Whether he returns stays open-ended. Italian publication La Gazzetta dello Sport framed the sports dilemma plainly. For economic reasons and in terms of visibility, Verstappen is crucial. Formula One risks losing one of its iconic drivers. The verified facts are these. Verstappen is 9th in the championship, 50 points behind the leader, in a car 20 kilograms overweight in its first year with a new power unit. His contract holds an exit clause he can activate from August onward. 2 of the sport's most credible voices have told him to stop threatening and either stay or go. His team has promised a better car. Mercedes has said there is no room. The FIA is under pressure to act. The window between now and the Hungarian Grand Prix in late July will define whether Formula One enters its next era with or without its 4-time champion. I'll continue bringing you only verified Formula One statistics, real driver interviews, and documented race analysis. No clickbait, no speculation. Just the facts about what's actually happening in Formula One based on official sources and verified information.